Hello, we continue to deal with the problem of wet hands in pole dance. In the first part of the video, I have already talked about two important problems, the beginner's problem and grip strength. I hope you are already actively working with an expander every day. If not, or if this is the first time you hear about the need for these exercises, then return to the first part of the video, watch and most importantly act. Without action you can forget about results. For those who are on top of it with the expander in their hands, we move on, and I want to make a small addition to the first part of the video, namely another exercise to improve grip. You can take a glass by the top part only using your fingertips and hold it, squeezing your fingers. It can be any object. The main thing is that it does not break due to pressure, and for advanced pullers you can search for a heavier object or stronger and compress them with greater effort. We are moving on to the analysis of the following problems, the understanding on which will help to find the perfect grip. And the third problem is the climate. Probably everyone noticed that their hands sweat more in heat and high humidity. Probably everyone noticed that their hands sweat more in heat and high humidity. The whole body does. And won't be able to do anything about this. Nature does not have bad weather, and we can only come to terms with its whims. The reason for poor grip here is obvious. When exercising in heat, the whole body sweats more, and so do hands. In this situation, the constant cleaning of the pole and hands help me personally. I use a cloth slightly moistened with alcohol. One more great principle is first with the wet cloth, then dry. I think the grip is better on a completely dry and clean pole for the majority. I use the same cloth lightly sprayed with alcohol to clean my hands before each trick or dance. I can also wipe the pole and hands beautifully during improvisation in especially hot weather. I think it's better than being hysterical about my terrible problem. By the way, that's how I used to solve problems with my hands before. Other tools to help work in heat are fans, air cons, and of course a shower before training, without further application of creams and lotions, obviously. Another secret is to reduce the intensity of the warm-up and pole conditioning. The body warm-ups well in the heat, so sometimes it's better to do only a basic warm-up of all joints and muscles and not to exhaust your body with a lot of strength or cardio exercises. By the way, when I was working on a performance in heat or during the rainy season, individual training helped me. I come to the studio to work on my own, ideally before group training. Then the room through stuffy is not the same as during or after classes with the entire group. Another important point, which is still often forgotten or not given enough attention, is personal pole hygiene. It's a special set of measures and means that can and cannot be used by pole dancers. So, contrary to magazines and beauty books, we do not use any hand creams as well as lotions and body oils. Of course, if you have very dry skin, you can use anything, but only after training. Another product that is often forgotten and is considered okay to use is toning lotion, and in general any sun lotions, including toning beds. This does not mean that we not need to go pale or stop using creams in toning beds. These creams protect the skin. But if you are concerned about grip, you can make sure there is a shower in your schedule between a toning lotion or a toning bath and your workout. Other completely obvious points are the washing itself, and especially washing hands. I met polers who wash their hands and entire body with tar or baby soap before the competition. And this is right, after all, shower gels and some soaps, especially liquid, do not always cleanse the skin so well and can contain moisturizers that we do not need at all. Let us briefly touch on the topic of various special products to improve grip. As I said earlier, science does not stand still and does everything possible and impossible for pole dancers. You can really get lost in a variety of different creams, magnesia, gels and waxes. Recommending something specific in this matter is difficult. An ideal remedy for one will only get the situation worse for another polar. Therefore, I would recommend ignoring advice such as sweat hands, get this super product and your problem will be solved in an instant. It helped me perfectly. Do not forget, we all have different hands and different problems. Someone has sweaty palms and someone image complains that their hands and body are too dry. Let us return to the products. There is only one way to find the perfect option for yourself. Try them. The good news is the vast majority finds their own product or a couple of tubes that helps later on in training and performance. And in order to find your ideal, it is not at all necessary to buy up the whole assortment of creams. Fortunately, now most companies offer to try them in action first. Or you can ask the trainer or other students to try their personal creams in class. I think your pole friends won't say no. I will add only a few words and a couple of products from my own experience and the experience of my students. Liquid magnesia often helps average hands without hyperhidrosis a lot, and the best part is that it also helps with an initial or moderate degree of hyperhidrosis. Personally, for example, I sometimes put a drop of the product, and after the magnesia dries, I also wipe my palms with a dry or slightly moist cloth with alcohol. By the way, there are those who love magnesia. They apply it not only to their hands but also at the grip points, knees, elbows, hips and so on. This helps when the body begins to sweat in these places and therefore the grip becomes weaker. The only thing of this method is the white spots on the body from magnesia, which unfortunately rarely fit the costume and the image in the performance. An alternative of liquid magnesia can be wax or mighty grip powder. Both improve body grip. The wax is more suitable for those who cannot warm up well and the skin remains completely dry, while mild grip dries the skin and adds grip at the same time. I believe giving advice on this issue is partly pointless. Everyone has their own hands and individual grip. For some, a certain product will be ideal, while for another, it will only worsen the situation. Therefore, an excellent option is to find a person with that degree of the problem, whether it's hyperhidrosis or just inexperience, lack of grip, and consult. Many people who do not have the problem of sweating in ordinary life are surprised when others whine and start saying just use the magnesia and everything will be fine, because in their world it is, and in your world this can sound like a mockery because that person simply cannot feel your problem and understand why are you so worried. Watch about what else can be done for a good grip with hyperhidrosis in the part 3 of that video. Subscribe to the channel not to miss it, and be sure to thumbs up that video and comment if that problem is relevant to you. And see you in the next video. Bye!